name is Sherry with 2021 Training, and 2021 Training has been around for the past 11 years, helping people get their insurance adjuster license in Texas and Florida. This video is going to answer a lot of the most common questions that we get from students that call in and just have various questions about the career itself and the class and how all that works. This Texas Adjuster Licensing course works for all people who reside in the state of Texas, as well as non-licensing states, such as Colorado, Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, and you'll see listed there on the screen all of the non-licensing states. This course would not be applicable to those people that reside in a licensing state, because what you need to do to get your adjuster license is you need to get your resident home state license first, and then you can get all other reciprocal licenses from there. So if you reside in a licensing state, then you need to make sure and get that home state license first. Once you have your home state license, then you can get licensed in other states that do require a license. You can get those through what's called Reciprocity. And there's a couple of websites that you can go to apply to those states for the reciprocal states. So the requirements for the Texas Adjuster license is the state requires that you be at least 18 years of age or older. The state does require that you reside in Texas or in a non-licensing state. You must also take a class, a pre-licensing class, and pass their state-approved final exam. You do have to pass a background check with fingerprinting. And last but not least, you need to pass the final exam with a 70% or better, and then submit your application to the state. The process to get your adjuster license in Texas is to take an approved pre-licensing class with a state such as ours and pass the state-approved final exam, which we do have a state-approved final exam attached to our class. So when you register for our class, you're registering for the required course contents plus the state-approved final exam. You will also need to have your fingerprints taken. That is a state requirement. We will give you all the instructions for that once you get into the class, and we do also send out an email as well. But you need to take the class, pass the exam with a 70, get your fingerprints taken, and then you go apply to the state. So the state of Texas has 3 different adjuster licensing types. The one that's the larger umbrella is the all lines license. So it licenses you to adjust all lines of insurance, whether that's property, auto, farm and ranch, crop, aviation, inland marine, ocean marine, workers' comp. So that's the larger umbrella, the all lines. And then the second one is the P&C, or it's also called the property and casualty. And that is the exact same license as the all lines, except it does not include the workers' compensation piece. And then the third license is the workers' compensation, which is only for workers' compensation. We at 2021 Training only offer the all lines training class as well as the P&C adjuster licensing class. And we recommend that you take the all lines class, especially whenever you're wanting to get other state licenses through Reciprocity. The all lines license is going to be your best bet all the way around. The all lines class is only 1 hour longer than our P&C class. So you might as well just go for the gusto and get the larger license or the more encompassing license. So the all lines license, again, is the most encompassing one. We do have people that call in from time to time and they originally just got the P&C license, and then all of a sudden they want to adjust workers' compensation claims. And you cannot adjust workers' compensation claims with the P&C license because it doesn't encompass that. So then they have to start all the way over and get an all lines license. So from the get-go, go ahead and just go for the larger umbrella of license and get the all lines license, so it will license you to adjust any type of claim in Texas. So when you've made the decision that this adjusting career is something you want to look further into and you want to get your license, what you will do is go to our website. So go to 2021training.com And then on the home page, you will see a Texas button and a Florida button. So go to the Texas button. Then once you're on the Texas page, you will see 3 different options: good, better, and best. The good option is just the adjuster licensing course, and it is the all lines course on that page. The better option is going to be one of our packages, and it is the Texas Smart Start package. This package basically is 3 classes for the price of 2. It is the Texas All Lines Adjuster Licensing course, plus the Practical Adjusting course, plus the Xactimate course. So you'll get all 3 of those classes for the price of 2 of them. And then the best option, our third option, is what's called the Texas Smart Start Plus package. It includes the same thing as the Smart Start, so the licensing class, the Practical Adjusting class, the Xactimate class, and as well a Basics of Construction class. And all of those are included, so you get 4 classes within that one package. So we recommend that if you have construction knowledge, that you select the Smart Start package. If you do not have any construction knowledge, we recommend that you select the Smart Start Plus package. All right, so once you've successfully signed up, and it happens almost instantaneously, you will get your login email. And you'll get that in the email address that you registered for the course with, and then you can start your course at any time. You can start at your earliest convenience, but just realize with our class that you can do the class online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You do it on your own time frame and your own schedule within a specific time frame. And in your login email, it will tell you how long you have to do that course. So just make sure that you read that login email, and it will give you that time frame for you. Once you log into the course, then you will see your course outline listed there. And what's going to happen on average, every 15 minutes, you're going to come across a 5-question quiz over the contents of that piece. You'll be able to walk through the course little by little, answering the questions every 15 minutes until you get all the way down to the very bottom of the course, and you have access to your final exam. And the course itself is set up to almost mimic like a live training experience. So in a live training classroom, you're going to have an instructor, and he's going to have a PowerPoint screen. So what we have put the bullet points into the online classroom. Now you won't see your instructor, but you will hear him. There will be audio, and he will teach to the screen. He will not always read the screen to you, but he will teach to the screen, much like you would get if you were in a live training experience. And he will try to give you some real world scenarios and just give you some good mnemonics of how to remember certain things, and just help you along as you're trying to learn the information so that you can take and pass our state approved final exam at the end. Okay, so for the licensing course, I have seen people get through that licensing course from the registration to the certificate at the tail end. I've seen them do it as quickly as 4 days. Now that could be someone that has prior knowledge or someone that is just a quick study. Most people though will take their time, life gets in the way, you've got to work, you've got family, that sometimes it'll take about a month to finish. But like I said, you'll just work through, it's like a 32-hour course and then a 3-hour final exam. So you just work it at your own pace, own schedule, and eventually you will get through that. But again, most people will get through within a month. Okay, so once you've reached the bottom of the course, you've gotten through all the content portion of the class, you will have access to a study guide that you'll see in the class. You have access to a blank study guide at the beginning of the course that if you want to, you can fill in as you go through the class. At the very end, once you get through the last section of the class, you will get the answer key to the study guide, just to make sure that you're studying the right answers for the test. Then at that point, you'll have access to practice tests, which I totally recommend that you take those practice tests, follow our recommendation to get an 85 to a 90% 3 to 4 times before you ever take the final exam. But our final exam is 150 multiple choice questions, and that is a state approved final exam, and those are TDI requirements. So every final exam has to be 150 multiple choice questions, And we allow you to take the final exam up to 6 times. We will give you all the study materials and all the study aids and the practice tests and such to get you prepared for that final exam. One more thing about the final exam, this is something that's required by the state. Because you're not going to a testing center, then you have to have a proctor you or monitor you while you're taking the test. So the state does require that you find someone yourself. You need to secure your own disinterested third party, it's called. The state defines this person as someone who is not related to you by blood, marriage, or adoption, and someone that does not report to you at the office. So most people will find a friend, an acquaintance, a neighbor, their roommate, or someone like that to sit with them during that 3-hour test and then sign off on a monitor affidavit. After you take the test and you pass it with that 70%, this person needs to sign off that it was you that took the test, you took it unassisted. And then you'll submit that to us. And we give you all the instructions of how to take the test and how to submit the affidavit. We give it to you when it's time in the class. Okay, once you have passed the exam with a 70%, then you will find on the next page your monitor affidavit. So on the next page or the next slide inside the classroom, you will have access to your affidavit. You need to get that filled in and returned back to us, and you just upload it right there in the classroom. You'll find a spot right there on that next slide where you will upload that. Once we process that, then you will at that point go to the Texas Department of Insurance website and you will actually apply for the license. But before you can apply for the license, you do have to make sure that you have your fingerprints done. You will receive an email within 2 days after registering for the course. You'll receive an email automatically that talks about the fingerprinting and the application process. There's also a couple of spots in the classroom that talk about that as well. So if you follow all of our recommendations and take the practice test like we recommend, you need to make an 85 to a 90 3 to 4 times before you ever attempt the final exam. You will do well on the final. Most people find that they will pass it. Our pass rate currently is 88% of our students will pass the exam the very first time. Well, that was a lot of questions to go over and answer, and I hope I've answered your questions. But if you have a question that for some reason I did not cover, please give us a call at 2021 Training at 972-767-7699, or you can always email us at support@2021training.com.